Yo, 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 welcome everyone. We've got Smooth and Crypto and Callum here. We're going to go after the Phoenix and Flare. We're going to go through both of those protocols. I'm really, really excited. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. How are you guys feeling today?
Good.
Feeling
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Really, really good. Thanks for having us on.
No worries, no worries. I think I said this just before we started, but it's my first stream in a couple of weeks. I'm slightly rusty. I got my awesome microphone though, so hopefully that sounds well. Sounds good. We got Scotty Blaze in the chat here. Let's go.
Shout out,
And
Scott.
I'm really, really excited to hear about Phoenix today. Callum, can you tell me how did you think about it? Like, how did it come about?
Yeah,
What's the story?
I remember watching a stream, and I think it was with the Verse, and he was talking about all these different builders. Like, I think there are some. I can't remember exactly what project was launching, but he was talking about, this new project coming out, and I was thinking, okay, surely there's an idea that people aren't looking at that I could kind of implement. And then I was just staring at the Titan X hub, and I was staring at Blaze, and I was like, okay, yep, this is perfect. And then Flux came out, and I was like, yep, this is perfect. Vault, and I was like, yep. So it was all kind of came together with all these ideas that formed Phoenix.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny how it happens. I don't think I know the full protocol. Did you want to bring up your screen? I'll just chuck it in there. Did you want to go through that?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you a quick elevator pitch first. You probably haven't looked at the Flare white paper either because it only came out yesterday. So this will be a good introduction to both the protocols. We'll try and win you over by the end of the stream. So yeah, Phoenix. Go on.
I was gonna say anything Inferno based. I'm in.
Yeah. So yeah, Phoenix is going to be a leverage play on Inferno. The main LP is going to be with Inferno. The buy and burn is going to route through Inferno as well. And there's a couple more things that route through Inferno, but the whole elevator pitch for it is going to be there's a 28-day mint period and then it's cap supply. The Titan X that comes into the system is going to form 3 stakes. We're going to have a Titan X stake, a Flux stake, and a Blaze stake. Those rewards are going to be split between maintaining the stakes and fueling the Phoenix buy and burn. And every time the buy and burn is triggered by a user, the Phoenix brought is split 50-50. 50% of the tokens are burnt. The other 50% goes to an auction balance. And it's very similar to Vault, how there are perpetual auctions, and these will start after the 28-day mint period. So it's kind of like when I was on a stream with Mo, he kind of referenced it being similar to like a Dragon X Vault kind of hybrid coming together, because we have the 3 stakes that are going to be there forever, and then we also have these perpetual auctions that are fueled by the stakes. And the Titan X that comes in through the daily auctions also is recycled back into the system to make sure the stakes are bigger and to make sure there's more fuel to continue to burn Phoenix, if that all makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's it's really cool because I'm in Blaze. I'm locked in for 8 years. I got the max stake going. I'm
Nice.
also in Flux, and I've got last time I looked, I've got like 0.4% of the rewards, so not a decent bag.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I really like those.
I think
protocols.
I think this is going to be huge. I think Inferno, personally, I think it's quite undervalued, especially Flux, especially Blaze. If you look at their market caps, excluding the staking wallets, I think Blaze is at like 400,000 and Flux is like 300,000 or something like that. So it's only going to take a little bit of buy pressure from Phoenix to hopefully, not financial advice, could help the price go up. And the beauty about these auctions is whatever comes in through the auctions is mirrored of whatever the price is. So if Blaze has a 2x, there's 2x the amount coming through auctions, and there's 2x the amount of the rewards pools. So yeah, I think people aren't waking up to the idea of these auctions, and especially with Flux, with E369 now as well. I think Flux is going to be huge with Phoenix launching on it as well.
Yeah, I can definitely I can see how if you can get Flux like moving up, it'll just keep moving up, like doing this like cycles up. If that happens, each day the auctions get bigger. That means the rewards are bigger. It means that the Inferno burns are bigger. And
Yep.
I love my Inferno. It's one of my biggest holds in the Titan X ecosystem. Outside Titan X, it's my biggest hold.
So, okay, nice. Yeah. And for Flux as well, it's kind of a leverage on Inferno. So if Inferno does well, Flux does well, and Flux is the biggest Inferno burner, so it helps Inferno even more. So it's all benefiting each other, and I think Phoenix is going to be a really nice addition for this because, like I said before, the buy and burn is going to route through Inferno before buying Phoenix to be burn and sent to the auction. But also for our play stake and our flux stake, we're going to be buying Inferno off market first before buying them off market as well. So if I just go to the visual.
And you can't see this here, but check this out. It's a phoenix.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Which is a bit too low, so you can't really see unless I stand up. It's happened. I already had this. I didn't buy it for today. I already had it. It's old.
Bro, just for today, I'd be honored. Yeah, so this is going to be the 4-week mint phase. So users are going to come in, deposit Titan X, and I'll run through the minting separately in a second. But this is what I love. So 72% of all the Titan X that comes in through the 4-week mint is going to market by Inferno before being separated into different allocations. And 20% of the Titan X that comes in is going to be burnt, or it's going to be sent to our Titan X stake, which I think GoatX is going to be sending Titan X to as well, which is awesome. So yeah, 72% of all the Titan X that comes in is going to market by Inferno. And obviously this leverages Flux, and hopefully will support Flux and push that up higher. It will support Blaze and obviously Phoenix as well. So I can't wait for that. Yeah, what would you like me to do? Just run through the white paper kind of start to finish to help you understand, or?
Yeah, I guess I don't want to ask too many questions because you're probably going to answer them all anyway. So,
no, feel free. Just jump in. Just jump in with any questions you have.
How many LPs will be created out of this?
Literally, it will only be Phoenix Inferno.
Oh, that's good. So it'll be like fairly thick liquidity, and Inferno gets that benefit of having that Inferno like semi-locked up, right? Like, when something's in an LP, it's sort of semi-locked, right? Is that a V3?
V3, yeah. And the reason we're only doing one liquidity pool is because what happened with Baby Dragon X and Dragon X, I absolutely loved what they did with the bonded liquidity. And we all saw it. It literally did, I think what Dragon X did a 10x, it did like 120x. And that's just because of this crazy bonded liquidity stuff that's going on in Titan X. So we want to leverage Inferno. So if Inferno does a 10x, hypothetically, Phoenix is going to be carried a 10x without any additional economic energy being put into Phoenix, which I love so much. And obviously with 72% of all the Titan X coming through into Phoenix, routing through Inferno, it's going to be a double buy effect, or I think Smooth calls it a bunny hop effect. So it's going to be pushing up Inferno, which pushes up Phoenix, and then it's going to buy Phoenix to push it up further. So it's going to be, crazy leverage play on Inferno. And I think Inferno's got a good future, and we'll get into more about Inferno with Flare supporting it as well. And there's loads of other projects coming out. So I think Inferno is so underrated. And in my opinion, I don't even know what the market cap is now. Is it below?
It's about 3 mil. It's about 3 mil, just under.
Yeah.
It's been around there for a while now. Definitely undervalued. I think it's so funny because everyone's talking about like Volt and Viper. I like both those too, and I've been in both of those. But like the amount of percentage that they've got burnt is like 30% or less. I think 33% for Volt. You know, Inferno's at 58% burn, and no one's talking about it, right? No one's paying attention.
It's crazy. I don't mind if not many people talk about it because it just means we earn more, and it's going to be like a massive elastic band, and we're just going to absolutely shoot off, in my opinion. Because you think
not financial advice, guys, but Inferno's
one.
Jake has said it's a sleeper a few times, right? People should pay attention to what Jake says at least, if not listening to us, right?
Yeah,
they gotta, and he knows. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I remember watching Jake and his early streams. Before he got into Titan X, he would say what he would look for in investing in the crypto is make sure it's fair launch, obviously, but also look for the small market caps. Because if you think for Dragon X to do a 10x, it has to go to 400 million. For Inferno to do a 10x, it needs to go to 30 million. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's a lot more achievable for the smaller low cap gems, and that's why I can't wait to launch Phoenix, because it's going to be an insane leverage on top of that. I think we will see. We have to wait and see. So I'll just quickly run through. I said so Phoenix is going to be a 28-day mint phase, and then it's going to be capped, and there's going to be no more supply. into existence ever. No founder allocation or anything like that. Completely fair launched. And the Titan X that comes in is going to go to form 3 stakes: a Blaze stake, Flux stake, and Titan X stake. Rewards are going to be used to maintain the stakes and fuel the Phoenix buy and burn. This buy and burn will root for Inferno, first buying Phoenix off market. We'll first buy Inferno and then buy Phoenix off market. And the Phoenix brought is going to be split 50-50, like I said, 50% burn, and the other 50% is going to go to fuel the Phoenix auctions, where 1% is going to be used daily after the 28-day mint phase. If that will make sense.
Yeah. So it's 28 days, similar to Shogun. And do you have a date yet? Are we revealing it today?
So we're in the final audit now, and it should be done Tuesday or Wednesday. So I don't want to say any date unless I don't know if there's some major issue that comes up, but I'm sure there won't be any, just in case we have to delay it. So I don't want to put a date.
8th of December. Got it. 8th of December.
No, but it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon for sure. And yeah, I can't wait, especially now with everything going on Titan X. I think this is going to be a perfect time.
Crazy.
It's going to be a perfect time. And Smooth, I'm sure you'll agree, with Flare coming, hopefully, I don't know when, but hopefully soon, it's going to be a perfect time for people to be launching. I think December's going to be crazy as well, with all the projects coming out.
Yeah, if we get Phoenix, Flare, and Goat X all in December, man, Inferno's going to fly. Like, come on, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any projects, in my opinion, that are released in December, early, mid, late December, at any point before 2025 is just perfect timing. So that's what we're trying to do. In all honesty, it'll probably be on the later side of December. But if we can get it in 2024, that's what we're aiming for.
Awesome. That's super exciting, man. I can't wait. I assume you guys got decent Inferno bags?
Yeah.
Don't need a doctor set.
Yeah, I think Inferno's very undervalued. I'll say that.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, I've gone through all the wallets and stuff and looked at it, and there's not that many big holders of Inferno. Like and you can see there's a lot of them have been selling out. So the bots are buying it, right? Slowly they're giving up the Inferno to the bots, and there's a floor if Inferno keeps getting higher and higher. Because if it's actually not 58%, it's 62% burnt, bought, and because Alien X store like 4%.
Yeah,
they've got the store and burn,
crazy.
right? But I think it's called the Alien Core.
Yeah,
I think Gugod's on here, so he knows all about this, and so
I think that's going to be so underrated for Alien X, because if Inferno does do a 10x, they have 4% of this. Do you say 4% of the supply?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
But they can't. They're not going to sell it. It's literally just to buy and burn only. It's
exactly.
So effectively, we're really at 62% already bought of Inferno that'll never hit the market.
Yeah.
So it's only 38%, and it's a lot less than that because of all the LPs that sort of have more or less locked Inferno, and because everything has an Inferno pair just about now. There's so many Inferno pairs, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think Jake said, and this is for Titan X, Jake said like the top 35 wallets or whatever are just all smart contracts or locked liquidity. Or
all the machines,
pretty much.
Machines taking over.
I think there's one giant wallet. That's a Genesis wallet, right, for Titan X. And I think slowly Inferno's sort of turning into that as well. And eventually, all the top wallets are just going to be protocols, and there's just not going to be any huge holders, except for Alien X. Yeah, massive.
Yeah,
core.
I hope so. I think Inferno is so undervalued, but I like that me and Smooth have both kind of realized that, and we're helping it with its potential, because I think both of our projects should benefit it, hopefully, and with GoX coming out as well. I think the white paper's releasing in a few days.
I think they said Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be super interesting to see as well. Yeah, for sure. Shall I just quickly go on?
Yeah. I'm just going to ask quickly. Smooth and Crypto, is Flare white paper now online?
I sent it to Mike Dean. It hasn't been uploaded just yet, but he is going to get to it eventually. So hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I sent it his way, and I know he sees it, and it's all good,
Oh yeah, awesome.
So
awesome.
hopefully, I'm probably just going to post the link or something on my Twitter X later today or something like that. But yeah.
No worries. If you want to give it to me as well, if you want, I can always add it to the description of the video. Not a big deal either way.
Yeah, I got you. I'll send it to you.
Callum, I put the Phoenix website in the description as well as the white paper.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And if
you know,
anyone has any
watching-
questions, just come into
Yeah.
Telegram and I'll answer everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can follow along with the white paper on your own screen if you want while we're talking about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty big here anyway. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Keep going, Callum. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's okay. So yeah, the mint phase, like I said, is going to be 4 weeks. It's going to be 28 days, and we want to reward early participation. So only for the first 24 hours, there's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio of Titan X. Then after 24 hours, it's going to drop down to 1.1 to 0.95, and then every 4 days after, it's going to drop by 0.025%. And it's going to do that every 4 days until the 28 days is done. And then it's capped supply and there will be no more supply minted ever. And yeah, that's just super fair launch. There's no auctions with the mint phase. It's like, if you want to come in, you can come in. But the best ratio will be for the first day.
Awesome.
And
it's very exciting.
Yeah. And then the Titan X that comes in, this is going to be the allocation. So there's going to be 35% that gets sent straight to the Phoenix buy and burn / buy and bid. The buy and bid is what we're calling it. So Vault has I think it's the buy and feed. We wanted to create our own unique name. So the buy and bid, but it's just, where we're going to be buying Phoenix off market to be half of it burnt, half of it sent to the auction balance. So 35% goes there, 28% goes to build a Flux stake, 20% goes to build a Titan X stake, and 9% goes to a Blaze stake. And the Blaze stake obviously has a smaller allocation, but for the first 150 days, 100% of the rewards that we receive from the ETH rewards we receive from Blaze are going to be reinvested to build up a really, hopefully, decent stake. And the 110 days is going to end just before the big 288-day payout. And then we're going to split the allocation. So half of it's going to be used to maintain the stake, and the other half of that big payout is going to go towards the Phoenix buy and burn. If that will make sense.
Yeah, good timing. Yeah, it's all about the timing as well, right? So
Yeah.
So you have a certain date you have to launch in, or else it stuffs up your days.
Yeah, I think there's 128 days until that big payout. So in the next 18 days, hopefully we'll launch Phoenix.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And then liquidity pool is very simple. Like I said to you, so it's going to be V3. And the way it's created is going to be, there's going to be the first 10 billion Titan X that comes in is going to go to buy Inferno from the Inferno Titan X LP. And then it's going to be paired with 10 billion Phoenix. And this is going to create a starting price 1-to-1 with Titan X. But the main LP, remember, is going to be Phoenix Inferno. That's going to be the only LP, if that will make sense.
Yes.
And and the rewards we receive, not the fees we receive even, from the LP, the Phoenix is going to be burnt, and the Inferno we receive is going to be sent to our Flux stake. So with the Flux stake, we can receive Titan X, we can receive Inferno, and we're going to be sending Inferno there, which is going to buy Flux off market and then max stake it. So just to help out with our Flux stake there.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
So this is going to be split for the Flux stake. So like I said, 28% of all the Titan X that comes in is going to go to buy Inferno off market first and then buy Flux. And the rewards we receive, 45% is going to go to maintain the stake, 45% is going to be sent to the Phoenix buy and bid, and 5% is going to be sent to our Titan X stake. And we've done this with the Blaze allocation as well after the reinvestment period, because the Titan X stake, I think, will be the most important for the longevity of the project, I think. And it's just meeting the ethos. We want to burn as much Titan X as possible as well, basically. And I think, I've got some good visuals to hopefully make people understand this a bit better. I don't know if can you see that clearly?
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Yeah. So this is simply what Phoenix is. So ignore these percentages on the left for now, but we're going to have a Flux stake, Titan X stake, Blaze stake. We're going to claim rewards. 45% for the Flux stake is going to be reinvested. 5% Titan X stake. 45% is going to go to the Phoenix buy smart contract. 5% Genesis. And Titan X stake is similar, but 50% is reinvested. Similar with Blaze as well. So 45% of all the rewards we receive from these 3 stakes is going to go to the Phoenix buy smart contract. Every time that's triggered, 50% of the Phoenix brought off market, which obviously it buys Inferno and then buys Phoenix, but 50% of that Phoenix brought is going to be burnt. The other 50% gets sent to an auction balance. This auction balance builds up over the 28 days. And after the 28-day mint phase, we're going to have daily perpetual auctions, which are going to be super sustainable. So we're only doing 1% daily, which doesn't sound like a lot because I believe Volt is, I always get this wrong. I think it's 15% or 20%. Smooth, do you know? 20%. Okay, yeah. So we're only doing 1%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over 30 days, that's 25% of the entire balance is going to be used because we never want that balance to run dry at all. And the whole kind of game theory behind this is we're going to be the biggest holder of Phoenix tokens. And through this daily auctions, it means no matter how high or low the valuation of Phoenix goes, we're always going to be having a constant stream of Titan X coming into the system, which is going to be reinvested. So if Phoenix does hypothetically a 10x, then we're going to have 10x the amount of Titan X coming in, which is going to be reinvested to the system. Because one thing that I was really like Dragon X, obviously this is where I got the inspiration for Phoenix from was, but I remember they reached a valuation of like 50, 60 million and they only had the 369 payout coming out. And I thought they were quite overvalued. So this way, no matter how high Phoenix goes or low, obviously, there always is going to be a stream of Titan X that's going to mirror it, which I can't wait for. But the Titan X we received from the daily auctions, 80% is reinvested to the Phoenix Buy Smart contract, 5% Genesis, and then 15% goes towards the free stakes. So if Phoenix goes really high, hypothetically, that means that we're still going to be fueling the free stakes to make them even bigger, to get us even more rewards.
So obviously
that was a lot of information.
Yeah, everything's all max staked, right? So Blaze max staked and Flux is max staked.
Yeah, and Titan X max staked as well. Yeah.
Oh, you actually max staking Titan X as well? Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think when I was learning about this, I didn't pay too much attention to the Titan X stakes.
Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people aren't. They're not even thinking about another minor wave. But I think personally, there's going to be another minor wave, and this way it means if there's any Inferno projects that want to burn Titan X, they can send it to our Titan X stake because 45% of the rewards is going to come to buy Phoenix. But obviously we buy Inferno first off market, which pushes up Inferno and pushes up all the Inferno projects as well. So I believe GoX is sending Titan X to us. And I think any other Inferno projects could do the same, because if you're sending it to the Dragon X Vault, it's having no direct benefit to your project. But through our Titan X stake, it means it's coming back into the Inferno kingdom.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So it's very much a long-term based project. Like it's not a quick flash in the pan.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of like sustainability. I never want the auction balance to run dry, but I think it could be quite aggressive, because if the Flux stake does really well, or if the Blaze stake does really well, or even the Titan X stake, there's going to be a lot of fuel coming into the Phoenix Buy Smart contract, obviously. And with E369 as well on the Flux stake, I'd just love to say this quickly. So they obviously released a few weeks ago, and if you look at I'll actually pull up the data quickly.
Awesome.
If you look at the liquid supply for Flux, it's kind of capped out if I do this on a daily. So they released on the 21st, I believe, and it's kind of been flat, around 800 to 830 billion Flux liquid, which is about, I think it's 8 to 9% of the supply, and Phoenix is just going to be buying that off market. So E369 is cutting off the inflation, and Phoenix is going to be buying the only Flux left on market. So I can't wait. I think Flux is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, Flux is very powerful. I could definitely see that. Some of those, if you ever get an auction and you don't get too many other people participating, you can get like your Flux back and you get staked, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I got a few of those days, but most of mine were like 60, 70%. Still not bad.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much Phoenix in a nutshell. I mean, do you have any questions, or Smooth, any questions?
Yeah, Smooth, any
no, I just love how this project is kind of set up for the long term. I think it's something good for the user to come in and really know that this is going to be here through the life of all of three of these projects. So to be linked directly with these three staking projects, and one of the top 3 staking projects is a really good thing for the user to be a grasp on and hold on to and have that long-term aspect, knowing that something's going to be there in the future. And then obviously being linked with the only LP with Inferno, I think that's really powerful as well. And Inferno is absolutely going to be squeezed at a certain point with all of this buy pressure and buy and burn with it and stuff. So I'm just really excited to see, it get the light that it deserves, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, pretty much what Smooth said. No, it's really exciting. It's another different element that's going to help Blaze and Flux, which ultimately it'll end up helping Inferno. And they all I love the whole Tinex ethos and the whole ecosystem, how everything sort of helps everything, right? And even though these ones you've still got Tinex, right, that you're buying in. So everything helps everything. There's not really any loss in the Tinex ecosystem. So since I found it, it's like been my favorite crypto project. I'm sure the same for you guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to look at other crypto projects that don't have, I don't know, a web of people helping each other. Like most of them are, player versus player or crypto versus crypto.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really nice to see.
I don't think it's ever been done in crypto before in this way. And I think we really need to fight to maintain it. But I think this is going to be so huge, Titan X. And that's why I decided to build. I'm like, this just makes so much sense. This is a cool idea I have. I believe if that Titan X is going to be here for the long term, I want to build something. So yeah, I can't wait. Titan X.
And have you made crypto? Have you made money in crypto before this? Was this your first cycle?
Oh, so I was in last cycle, but yeah, I wasn't as into it. After that cycle, into the bear market is when I started taking crypto really seriously, and yeah, discovered Titan X, and then I was like all in, especially with Dragon X. Dragon X was just absolutely insane. It's where a lot of the inspiration came for Phoenix, obviously, but yeah.
So when did you get into the Titan X ecosystem?
So it was like that second big wave of users, just before the second big wave.
The start of this year?
No, it was last
day 30-ish, day 25, something like that.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah,
pretty early. Okay, cool. Last year. Yeah, I missed out. I only got in 6 months ago.
Oh, really?
You got a good entry, though, what I'll say.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it was already starting to run up and everything. But I would have liked to see it 1 month before that.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. Maybe the last thing I'll say before we move on to Flare is just the auction mechanics. Again, I really want to hammer this in because we spoke about it briefly, but for the Blaze and the Flux, the way they work, if the price is a 2x, there's 2x the amount coming in through auctions. There's 2x the amount going through all the rewards. So there's 2x for stakers and there's 2x for Phoenix as well. And obviously, Blaze and Flux have very high inflation during their infancy. So Phoenix kind of offers an answer because you can hold a liquid asset that's capped and there's not going to be any more of, and it's going to be benefiting directly from Flux and Blaze success. If they do well, then it's basically a proxy for their success, is what Phoenix is. So yeah, I think that's just a really unique idea because personally, I don't like locking my funds up in a big stake for too long. And I like the idea. I love having it liquid. So Phoenix kind of offers an answer for that.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. Yeah, I get it like a proxy.
Yeah.
Smooth, did you want to ask any questions? And then soon we'll move on to your white paper as well.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of Phoenix, and originally before we switched some of the tokenomics before we released everything we were doing, we were going to support the Phoenix stake, and I was really pumped about that, and I wish it made sense still, but at the end of the day, the goal of that was to burn as much Titan X as possible, and I think the solution we have now fixes that problem. But yeah. I love Phoenix, and it's going to do really well.
Awesome. So I've got the Flare white paper now. Hope you guys are not overloaded in the viewers there. We've got about 130 people watching now.
Nice.
So hope you guys are okay to go on to a second white paper now. Man, I'm really excited for Flare as well. Like they're both really exciting, very different protocols, but in the same kingdom, if you will.
Yep.
Inferno Kingdom. Yeah, sure. Smooth, can you take us through this? I'm gonna pop you in the middle there.
Yeah. So Flare is, in my opinion, a very aggressive, but with a long-term mindset in a project. I think this is a standalone forever project. Even if I don't build a project on top of it, I think it'll stand the test of time, in my opinion. But overall, this is a 11-week mint, just kind of the same tokenomics that Inferno had. You come in on Fridays, you mint, you get it on Saturday. And after that, it will be daily auctions from there. So we have 76% of the Ethereum and Titan X that comes into our system for minting and auctions will auto mint X28. So 38% of all of the Titan X basically and Ethereum that comes in is going to be basically burnt forever. So it's a very aggressive protocol, but all of that will be minted into X28, and that's what will be used for our buy and burn, and that's what will be used to buy Flare and put it in our daily auction pool. So
which is huge. 38% of all the Titan X that comes in is basically burnt because you're going through X28, which is going to put you really high up on that leaderboard and burn a shit ton of Titan X, which is good for all projects. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than sending it to the the Phoenix stake. You're going to burn a lot more, I think.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, I wish I get in the Phoenix stake, but I think 38% off top is pretty powerful, and it's going to be auto minting period and for the perpetuity of this project forever. So one of the main goals, in my opinion, of Flare is to not only build a very highly deflationary asset, which is Flare, but also promote the growth and use of X28. So I think that's both really important goals for this project and for myself. And I think X28 is going to be huge. And, this is only the beginning to what X28 is going to be doing. And that burns so much Titan X. And I'm just so bullish on it.
Just to stop you guys there for a second, have you guys been following the stats in Titan X for the last 3 days since Shogun started?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nuts. I think we're down like, I don't know, like a trillion or two in the stakes and at 2 or 3 trillion now in the liquid. It's got another 25 days or something to go. So I expect that liquid Titan X to be, I know, another 25 trillion down by the end of Shogun, and it's still got the perpetual auctions after that anyway. So, but I think there'll be a lot less Titan X going through it.
Yeah.
So it's really, really crazy.
Yeah, and what I'll say as well is, right at the end of Shogun, hopefully Flare releases right after that, and we just pick up where Shogun left off. That's what I think. Perfect timing. If that what could really happen, that would be so crazy.
I think is it on Christmas the auctions end for Shogun?
I think
or around there. Around
yeah,
there.
I think so.
Yeah.
So right after that would be really sick. So
Yeah,
just
sweet.
pick it up and
tell us what else Flare does.
okay. So basically coming in here, Flare tokens minted after 24 hours, just how it goes. Day 1 will be minting, day 2 will be claiming, and also the start of the daily auction. So the daily auction is going to have 32%, or here, I'll go back to this. So the weekly mints are going to go from 1 to 1 to start, and it's going to drop by 0.02 every single week after that. So 11 weeks of minting, very slow, get, I think, very fair launch, in my opinion. And we're going to continuously mint until week 11, and then it'll be only daily auctions from here. So 44% of the Titan X will be used to auto mint X28, and that will go to our buy and burn. 32% is going to mint X28, and that's going to go to our daily pool, auction pool. So every single day, the 32% that comes in through minting or daily auction is going to be bought the next day and put into the auction pool. So no matter what happens, that is all going to be spent the same next day, basically. And then 8% is going to be sent to the Inferno buy and burn, and this is going to be one of our. Yep. So we're trying to burn as much
on that page.
Yeah. Yeah. So trying to burn as much as we can. Yes, sir. What up, Jake? 8% of Titan X is going to be used for liquidity webbing, and we're going to start off by webbing with all of the Inferno tokens. I think that's a good place to start, especially being part of Inferno and everything. I want to thicken up that, and 8% to Genesis. So the liquidity pool is a V2. So everything that's put in for the X28 and Flare, all of those rewards are going to be recompounded, and we want to make these LPs as thick as we can. So everything that the LP makes is going to go reinvested right back into it. So, and it's
so smooth. So you said the buy and burn and the for the auctions, the buy and burn for the auctions as well. That's every single day, 100% is used.
Oh no. So yeah, so the buy and burn is still going to be the same thing as Inferno.
Okay.
I like that aggressive buy and burn. So Sunday through Wednesday, 4%, Thursday, 10%, Friday, Saturday, 15%. So really aggressive, but 44% is going to be sent to that pool to be, used for the buy and burn. But 32% for the daily auction pool portion of it is going to be bought the whole next day. So if 100 grand comes in, 32 grand the next day is going to be used for the auction pool.
Nice.
Yep. So, so the weekly mints, 32% are going to be sent to the auction pool, and we're going to start the auction pool out with 1 trillion flare. So the first release is going to be roughly 110 billion flare is going to be on the first daily auction. And throughout that whole day of the day 2 auction, it's going to constantly be adding more flare into there and constantly be growing it. So 11% of that pool is going to be used on the day 1. And then after 11 weeks, it'll go down to 5%.
Okay. So 11% of the balance throughout the entire mint phase is going to be used daily.
Yep.
And then afterwards, 5%. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I like that. So super aggressive during the mint phase and then more sustainable after.
Yep. Yeah. I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive than not, in my opinion. I think I still want it to be juicy, and if they're high enough, in theory, more people should join them. But we'll see. To be seen, right? Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is during the 11 weeks, there'll be an 8% tax. 3.5% is going to be sent directly to the daily auction pool. 3.5% is going to be burned. 1% Genesis, and then after the mint phase, 2.8% of the buys and sells are going to 1%. 1% is going to go to the daily auction pool, 1% burned, 0.8% to Genesis. So this is going to be, no matter what's happening, it's going to continuously be burning and being sent to the daily auction pool. So even if there's no, daily auction users, this will at least be sending some so it can be used.
And what about LP webbing? Yeah,
so we're going to like the 8% is going to come in, and we're going to slowly do it. Just how I know that Element 280 had a big lump sum that they did to start with, and Shogun did as well. We're going to start ours with the main pair being X28 and Flare, and then afterwards do big, just start sending them off left and right, and hopefully constantly be growing these LPs. So that's why I said starting with the Inferno Kingdom for sure, and then branching out from there.
And will you branch out to all Titan X projects, or?
I think so. I like that idea. Or even it could be 2 trains of thought, being Inferno only or everything, in my opinion. So you either make the Inferno really thick, or I go for everything. We go for everything. So
yeah, I think, maybe some people, Jordan, do you kind of understand the whole premise of Flare? Because I think, Smooth, you might like,
it's like a weird combination of, I don't know, like half the protocols in Titan X.
Yeah.
No, I really like it.
I think that's the easiest way to communicate it. Smooth, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like Inferno fair launch phase, which obviously we saw with Inferno being super successful, get the supply out as fairly as possible. And then there's going to be an LP web similar to E280, which is going to be with, well, maybe all the Inferno or everything else, but it's also going to have tax on it. So all the arbitrage bots that are coming in is going to be forcing volume, which is the tax is going to be fueling the auction. So it's similar, very similar to Shogun actually, with how the auctions. Yeah, it's very similar to Shogun. So it's kind of going to be like an Inferno Shogun hybrid, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a very slow, fair way to get it. Because with no shade at people who do the put out the coins through minting or through auctions. I think it's a great system. For me, the minting creates very fair. You know exactly what you're going to get, and I really like that. And I liked how you could get in week 1, week 3, week 8, kind of thing, or every week if you want, and not feel like you got to go really heavy into one day or whatever the case may be. So I wanted it to be fair, slow, and allow as many people a good chance of getting as many coins as they want.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Do you think you should? I watched your other stream a couple of days ago. So my voice has gone funny. You said that it'll like inflate and then deflate during the week, right? Like people have a chance of bidding and getting a good deal, and then potentially selling and re-going into it, and then obviously it mints up higher again the next week. So it's a very different. I don't think anyone else has done that. I think it's the first time doing that system.
I call it the pulse of it jumps and drops, it jumps and drops. So hopefully through the 11 weeks, we see it. I wanted to do for the mint allocation, I wanted it to be small so that if it's aggressive enough during the week, that ROI looks really good on that mint. I want minting because there's no taxes on minting and there's no daily auction during that mint day. So the only focus is on minting, and I want people to mint because it's arguably going to be the best deals that they're going to get. Auctions are going to be really good, and hopefully they're massive. But the minting is awesome. So
6 days a week auctions, 1 day a week minting.
Yep.
For 11 weeks, and then it's all auction.
Yep.
Yeah, that's never been done, right? That's pretty exciting. Something different.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's just a different spin off of what everybody else is doing. I didn't want to necessarily reinvent the wheel with Flare. I wanted it to just be something that has a little bit of everything, kind of how Titan X started. You know what I mean? So just a little bit here, a little bit there, and take the best pieces that I like and combine into one project. And I think this is an aggressive but long-term project, in my opinion.
I think it's going to be really aggressive.
You guys both look long term. I really like it. I like all the long term thinking, because short term can be nice, but we want to look long term.
Yep.
Yeah, Smooth. What do you see then after the 11-week mint phase? What do you kind of think?
I'm hoping that it's pinched so much, and we've seen with Dragon X, for instance, right? It hits these milestones and kind of hangs out there a little bit, and it hits another milestone. So I'm hoping we've hit a couple milestones and we're hanging out, and those auctions are going in, and you're constantly coming in with hopefully more economic energy and more bigger auctions. But it's to be seen. I think any amount, whether it's small or large, of adoption and use is going to make the math go. And even if a little bit of people are using this, it's the math is good in my opinion. So it'll just keep working out.
What I've noticed in the Titan X ecosystem is if there's an auction, it almost always, the ROI is almost always single digits and sometimes even negative. Right, because sometimes whales come in at the last second, like, "Oh, I'm going to scoop this good deal," and there's 2 whales at once, and then it goes negative.
Yeah.
So, overall, if there's money to be made in the Titan X ecosystem, someone's going to find it. So those auctions are probably a lot of them are going to get quite low to single digits. But you might get, sometimes people forget, and it's like a 20% deal.
Yep.
And so some people get a really good deal, and I definitely I see the value in it. I see. It going long term.
I love the auctions. I don't know if it was Jake who said this or maybe Steve, but it's literally forced participation. If there's a 20% ROI there and you can make it within a few minutes, you're going to do it no matter what. So I love the idea of auctions, especially on a capped supply, like on a capped deflationary protocol. I think that is insane. And Volt has changed the game for that. And yeah, I don't know about you, Smooth, but I definitely got a lot of inspiration for Phoenix through Volt as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just very cool to see. And when I was, streaming with Steve, I knew it was going to be big, but the more I talked to him, I was like, oh crap, this is going to be something we've never seen before, and all I kept saying was like, no one's ever done this, I don't know how it's going to do, and sure enough, it just did awesome. And to be seen with the pillars and the wheel and there's so much different stuff he's doing. So I'm really excited to see kind of how it all pulls together.
Sorry, cut you off there. Speaking of that, Turbo just launched last night, right? For me, it was 2 a.m. in the morning. So for you guys, probably in the morning your time. But yeah, Turbo just launched, so we'll see how that goes. That one's a lot more like Volt, because I don't know if you guys followed a lot with Viper, but Steve did like the Nexus, and it sort of moved the liquidity around a lot, but it didn't really spike like crazy like Volt did. But Turbo is a lot more like Volt, so we might see some crazy stuff on that Turbo launch. We'll see what happens.
The first
Look out for day 4, day 5, right? Was that coming?
The first project on Hyper, right?
Is it first? Yeah. And there's Matrix coming and Warp as well. It's all happening on Hyper this month as well, right?
Yeah.
So
I think Matrix. I think Mike said in the Spaces today that the white paper is going to be dropping tomorrow for Matrix.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see that. Yeah,
I have Hyper Miners coming out this month, so that's really good for me.
Yeah,
they were max miners too.
Yeah,
I go hard. So
yeah, I had quite a few miners that came out recently as well. I mean, I love Hyper. It's literally Titan X, and I love that projects are starting to build on it as well. I love the idea of these protocols with projects building on top of it, like Blaze, like Flux, like Hyper. Like it just all helps each other and makes everything more profitable for everyone. So
I actually think Hyper might be the most important protocol in the whole Titan X ecosystem, because if everybody builds on Hyper and it hypes up Hyper and the price goes up and value goes up, everything, it means that more people will jump into the miners, and that means more ETH coming into the system, which will eventually pump up Titan X, buy and burn Titan X.
Yep.
So I think that's actually one of the most important, to get fresh Ethereum into the system. I don't think there's any other protocol we really have right now that does that. Not fresh. I mean, obviously, when Titan X goes up in value, then there'll be more people starting those miners, which use Ethereum as well, right? But for now, it's Hyper. Hyper's very important.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really exciting to see Flare and Phoenix. Thanks so much, guys, for coming through today and going through your detailed white papers. I will. So Smooth, you're cool if I add that Flare link in the description that you sent?
Yep.
Yeah, sweet. I'll add the white paper into the description, guys.
Awesome.
At the end of the video, so you can refresh the page and we'll have the link there for the white paper for Flare. I've got about 10 more minutes and I've got to head off. So we'll say, Callum, do you have any questions for Smooth?
Smooth, yeah. I mean, I would want to know, Smooth, what do you kind of see for participation wise throughout? Because obviously there's a small tick up with the weeks coming in. Do you think people are more likely to participate in the mint phases, or do you think the auctions are going to be more participation?
I think the mint, I truly think the mint's going to have more participation, just because people are going to know exactly what they're going to get with these mints. And the auction is to be seen. So I think people are going to really like minting. But then they're also going to like, if they minted, they're going to like people getting into the auction. So it's kind of like a yin and the yang, right? It's if you like the auctions, but you don't want to, you didn't mint, then you got to wait a whole nother week to do it. So if the auctions are better, so I think people are going to mint more so than do the auctions, but the market is so irrational. I could be totally wrong. I have no idea.
I like. Sorry, go on.
You go.
I was just going to say, I really like the 11 weeks because it gives everyone a fair chance. I loved it with Inferno as well. It's like you didn't have to participate each week, and it was always there. But I mean, the clock was always ticking. But if you want to participate over the weeks, you can. And the input being Titan X is going to be awesome, especially going into 2025, when I think Titan X is going to become much more valuable. So, yeah, I can't wait for a smooth.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I actually only got in on week 8 on Inferno. I was so devo that I just got the tail end of it. I missed like, week 1 1-1 or whatever it was ratio.
Yep.
Would have been nice.
Yeah. But one thing I'll say is that at the end of that week, the ROI was almost like 21% or something like that on Inferno on week 8. So the nice thought about behind Flare is by it only going down 2%, hopefully with how aggressive the daily auctions are, that ROI is really juicy, so that if you're getting in on week 11, you at least are up by minting. That's my real goal, is to make minting as profitable as possible.
Yeah, like I said, when there's money to be made in this system, someone's going to find it,
Right.
and so those auctions are always going to have people bidding, always, even if it's just a couple big whales that are like playing whale games. Who knows?
Yeah, Jordan, I've got a question for you, because me and Smooth
Sure.
have spoke quite a lot, especially about the future of Titan X, where we kind of think it's going long term. Where do you kind of see? You said you've only got in 6 months ago, but where do you kind of
it's
see
actually
Titan
even
X?
less than that. But
Okay.
I looked at Hex last cycle. I didn't get into it, but I looked at it, and it got to like 130 billion market cap or something insane.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can get to that big a market cap, but I think we could definitely get to like 10 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion. That would not be, and even 5 billion for now, if Titan X keeps burning as well, 5 billion would be like 100x if Titan X just keeps burning a bit. 10 billion, 20 billion, like it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's definitely, I don't expect to see anywhere near 100 billion, especially that we're not really on any exchanges. But you know what? I did see Jake mention Coinbase the other day. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys caught that. It was like 3 seconds in one giant stream he did a few days ago. He mentioned something about getting on Coinbase exchange. I don't know what that's about. But
Your
that
ears
would be,
perked up.
Yeah,
that would be insane, right? And that, I think he pretty much said like that's the only exchange we need. I'm like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah,
We're
he
on
is
Coinbase,
right.
we can easily go to 10 billion, easy. Right? That would definitely be possible. So
yeah. I think when it comes to like price predictions, it's so difficult. Like, because you were talking about
it's
market
impossible.
cap. Yeah, because you were talking about market cap, but what happens if we burn 50% of the supply? Then the market, like, it's completely different, and so much of the supply is being burnt. Yesterday, Jake put out a tweet, and it was like $1.1 million worth of Titan X was burnt yesterday, which was like 1.3% of the total supply in one day was burnt.
Over 1%. Yeah, I noticed that.
It's
It's
insane.
Shogun, it's going crazy now. So by the end of the year, who knows how much is going to be burnt? Probably another 10%, I think.
This is why Smooth launching projects now, I think, is going to be huge. Like, I think the users coming in, it's not if, it's when. I think green candles is the best form of marketing, and I think personally, I believe we're heading in that direction. So yeah, I cannot wait for 2025 for Titan X, and even into the bear market. I'm really interested to see what happens. Jake always talks about how far, like, different projects, obviously everything falls 50-80%, but it's how far they fall, and then if they can kind of resurrect and come back for the next cycle. So I can't wait to see that as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of potential for the bear market, in my opinion, with the Titan farms and with Ouroboros, right? Having the ability to take out a loan and that whole game theory that you can do with that, but also being able to just say, okay, maybe right now it's better for if I just put my funds into Titan farms and just farm during the bear market. So it's really nice that we don't have to just sit here and just hope the tokens go up. We can actively be in part of these auctions and, part of the farms, and be slow or fast and aggressive. It's going to be really interesting to see kind of where we go during all those phases, and having that as an option.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Callum, you're right with the market caps. I'm so used to cryptos that, you just go by the market cap.
Yeah.
But with burning, it just throws all that off. because there's less supply, and then the market cap looks smaller, but it's actually gone up in value, and it is a little confusing. But I think even without any exchanges at all, I still think Titan-X could easily do a 10x from here. It could probably do 100x if there's a real squeeze on the supply. So you guys went for day 30. Where was that giant spike I saw for Titan-X? Was that around that time?
I believe so, yeah. There was a massive inflow of users on that second big wave, which was, just before.
Because I think it's squeezed, right? That's why there was a giant spike up. It's literally had that liquidity squeeze that we've all been waiting for. And can you imagine, though, if Titan-X does that, and then Inferno does that too, because it's also got a liquidity squeeze at the same time? Like, that would be, imagine 100x times 100x. It would be 1000x.
And that's the insane thing about Titan-X. Like, we're talking about how bullish we are on Titan-X as a whole, but all the projects built on top benefit from its success. It carries everything with it. And like you said, that could carry Inferno. And then if there's Phoenix on top of Inferno, it's going to carry Phoenix as well. And if your Flare we've got a web with everything, everything's going to carry Flare. Mm-hmm. And I just love the system, how everything works with each other and everything benefits each other. I think, I just can't wait to see what happens. Honestly, it's going to be really, really interesting to see when, if users don't come in, even if there are no more projects built, I think we still do so well with what we have right now, which is saying something. So imagine 10x the projects, 10x the users. I'm too bullish.
Are you guys, do you guys have other tokens in your portfolio? Or are you like mostly all in on Titan-X ecosystem? Because I'm probably right now about a third, maybe 33% in Titan-X ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess you could say probably like 80%, 70% Titan-X, and then I have probably like 30% Pulse Chain, and then some Bitcoin and stuff like that. I like Pulse Chain. I have a lot of different coins in there, but I definitely have a heavier Titan-X bag for sure.
What about you, Callum?
I think I was similar to Smooth. Like a few months ago, but my Titan-X bags just absolutely took off compared to everything else.
So now it's become your biggest.
It's becoming like really, really, the biggest holdings, which I'm happy about. I'm super bullish on it, and I got to put my money where my mouth is.
With all the Titan-X stuff that I have, I'm not a person to kind of move stuff around and sell this to get into this. I'm more of if I bought it, I'm keeping that, and I just move to another thing. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's good to pivot and sell some things for sure and move to a different direction to go a little harder than others. But overall, I love to just add new fresh powder into the systems that I'm in. So it eventually just became way bigger, so it's cool with me. I mean, whatever way it happens.
Same. I just slowly kept adding more and more. Like, hang on, I probably should stop doing this. I'm gonna have like everything in the one system. Not necessarily a bad thing if it's like it's got that V1 pool there. We know we've like literally 15 million USD worth of Ethereum. DragonX has I don't know how many, 3 or 4 million USD worth of Ethereum. Hyper has a few $1 million worth of Ethereum as well. So combined, this, the Titan-X ecosystem has over 22, 23 million USD worth of Ethereum just sitting in it, just waiting, stuck in smart contracts, ready to burn. Imagine if that all went off at once. Like we would instantly do a 10x. Yep. Even against sell pressure.
One candle.
Even against sell pressure. You saw when we had that big, I think mining unlocks, and it got pushed really hard. There was some massive selling pressure. I think it was Bad Sports or someone managed to capture. No, it was Steve DeFi. He actually captured a picture of Titan-X at 40 million market cap when it spiked down, and some people bought there, obviously. But they put on a few of the burners. Like Hyper was set to like 1 Ethereum every 1 minute.
Yep.
So and it only took like an hour for it to get back to 80 million market cap. And it only I tracked it, man. It only burnt about, it was like $200,000 worth of Ethereum. That's it, to get from 40 million to 80 million market cap.
Jeez.
What happens when they literally release all those $20 million worth of Ethereum.
Yeah, and Jake says it's only like 5% of volume is the buy and burn from like Titan X. Like 95 is all protocols. So it's just so nice. That's in the back pocket for Titan X. And if you say, oh, what's Titan X backed by? Like
That's like the ace card, right? That's the ace.
Exactly. We have all the projects all birding Titan X supply, but guess what? We also have 16 million in ETH that's just going up as ETH is going to hopefully run higher. And
imagine ETH up to 2x from here. That's like over $40 million worth of Ethereum. And you said you want to know what's going to happen into the bear market. It's totally possible that if Titan X is on a squeeze, it's not going to be able to really go down if it's on a proper squeeze, right? And they've got all that Ethereum to back it up as well.
Yeah.
And normally everything goes down, right? I want to sell most of my stuff before the bear market. I'm sure you guys are with me there. And stack Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's a big safe one, but I'm definitely going to keep some of my Titan X and Titan X ecosystem projects for sure, at least percentage of them, and it would be really cool. I can't wait to see what happens. It's going to be really exciting 2025, right? We're all pumped for it. There's so many good things happening. Thanks for coming on, guys. I better wrap it up now. I've got to go. I've got the kids in the next room. Hopefully you guys couldn't hear them at all, but they're running around and making a bit of noise.
It's been fun.
Good. Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, by the way, Jordan. I really appreciate it.
Phoenix.
Nice.
The Phoenix is rising.
The Phoenix is rising, yeah. And Flare soon as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much for coming, guys. Everyone that wants to know, check the description, jump on the white papers, jump in Phoenix's Telegram. Flare, have you got Telegram as well?
Yeah, so I'll send it to you.
Yeah, sweet. So everyone jump in the Telegrams, jump in the white papers. It's going to be really exciting December. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.